Didn't I post it already? Wow. Wow. What? There we go. Somebody's jamming.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you jamming?
I'm jamming with some Latino music.
Awesome.
Oh, man. So I see you found your phone, right?
There it is.
Yeah, all right. Hey, my camera's not working, huh? Let me see.
Yeah.
Why is it not? Why is it not working?
I'm actually right.
Oh, there we go.
Right.
No? Wait a minute.
Here.
Let's see.
All right.
Logitech webcam. There we
There
go.
you go.
Save.
Good, man.
There we go. Let me turn webcam.
You got a tie on for Friday.
All right.
You must have had some appointments.
I did. Well, you know, I'm taking some time off for Christmas, so I gotta get my whole month's December revenue in.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool.
Yeah, the only way you could take off is hustle in the beginning of the month.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, business is kind of dead after the 15th anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do anything.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, see, I have opposite problem where I am. In what we do,
Yeah.
people want to spend the money before the end of the year. So we have a backlog of work. I mean, my guys are working like dogs almost right now.
Really?
Yeah, I had to actually put an email out just an hour ago asking people to work overtime tomorrow.
Dang.
You know.
What are you doing aside from this? I don't even know.
Oh, I own a technology company up here.
Yeah.
So I'm a phone guy. At least the way I introduce myself to everyone, I'm like the phone guy. I've been doing this type of work, what I do, for 30 years. You know, I joined the Air Force. They decided that's what I was supposed to do, and ever since then. So what we do as a business is real simple. Any business out there has phones. Most of them have a conference room. If they move, that office has to be cabled. So surveillance cameras, pretty much all the technology within a business we do. And the cool thing about our business is everyone needs us, right? You know, so there's only about typically in our environment there's about a dozen to 15 companies per city, usually. So we do well. It's one of these businesses, kind of like a doctor or a dentist. Everyone needs you, but we don't have as much competition. So, and I figured out this marketing stuff, or at least the parts that I know, because of my business. I couldn't find a way to do it or hire someone to do what I wanted. So I started learning, the fundamental thing that I sell to everyone now. I provide more exposure, more leads, and more sales to a business. That's it. There's nothing else that I do. That is it. Yeah.
Are you providing the system for them? Is that what it is?
I do that too. I do. Yeah. In fact, yesterday, I think I posted in the group. I think I posted it yesterday in New Orleans. Actually, I was telling Jimmy. The day I got a deal, and this is all because of my online stuff.
Yeah.
I did one today this morning in the other end of Virginia, where the guy told me, you know, we're not even installing it, I'm just selling it. So yeah, that's what I do.
Sweet.
But I like marketing more.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, marketing is fun. It is really fun.
There's probably a lot of headaches with the other stuff.
Well, you know, it's just it's a different model. You know, there's a lot of overhead. There's a lot. You know, you have to have employees. You got to have you know all the other stuff that goes with the business.
Exactly.
You know,
Sweet.
but it's what I do. It's nothing exciting. It's just what I do. You know.
Awesome. Let's see. Columbia and Jeff, how are you guys?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Friday. Friday.
Everything's good here in Tennessee. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, indeed.
Little cold, but other than that,
You're in Nashville?
yeah, Nashville. Yes, sir. Oh, you're down there in South Florida, right?
Yep, no complaints about the weather, though. It has been cool lately.
Whereabouts in South Florida? Close to Miami?
I'm about an hour north of Miami, so I'm in between West Palm and Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
Does not stink.
Every day's a party and every day's summer there, huh?
Of course.
Of course. So let me see if I can find that salsa music again. Wait a minute, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking, my wife one of these nights is going to think I have a Latin lover or something. Listening to all this Latino stuff and having Latino conversation, she's going to be like, what is going on, Mike?
Exactly.
That's funny.
Hilarious. Y'all got big plans for the weekend?
You know, today is my son's birthday. So,
Oh, great.
yeah, he's, I tell you, man, life goes by so darn fast.
Yeah,
I saw your post about him. What's he up to, Mike?
You know, he's 17. He's 17 today. In fact, I told my wife, you know, I said, congratulations. I mean, we got him to this point, and, you know, I joined the military when I was 17. So, you know, he's got another year of high school. He's a junior right now, and, you know, time does go by fast, very fast.
Exactly. It does. I actually
Yeah.
have a daughter that's having a birthday this weekend too. Well, I say
Yeah.
and she turns the magic number 3 on Monday. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Cherish those moments, man. Cherish them all.
I've got older kids too. I've got a 12-year-old and a almost 14-year-old. So I've got them on both sides of the spectrum.
So have the older ones, have they started that transition to where they don't want to have nothing to do with you anymore yet?
With me?
Yeah.
No, my daughter probably more so than my son.
Yeah.
My
Same here.
son's
My daughter too. Yeah.
really connected to me, and he's kind of a daddy's boy, so very much like me.
Yeah.
My daughter just wants to be on the phone or tablet all the time.
Yeah. 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 It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
In fact, my son, he's doing a sleepover with some of his 6 or 7 of his friends. So when I get off work, we're all gonna get him and his girlfriend too, which he has a girlfriend that's in college now. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
All by itself. But we're all gonna go to dinner, and then he's gonna head out, and then him and I got chores to do. We got all our northern leaves to take care of tomorrow. So you'll probably see a couple frantic posts that of me taking care of leaves with him in the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm not looking at the screen. How many do we have in here?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 without you. 8. So 6. 6 without you and I.
Great. Cool. We'll give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll get moving here.
Cool. So hey, while we do that, anybody want to share any information with us before we get started? This is a good time for you to Just cut the breeze.
Yeah, Spanish market sucks. Everybody can get off the call.
Is that your way of taking over?
Yeah. Nothing to see.
Hey,
Move along.
My apologies for getting you in so late too. That was all my fault.
No, that's no problem. I got those videos sold this morning.
You did. Good job. Good job.
Well,
Byron.
it's easier. My girlfriend works for an attorney here in town, and her son is also a district attorney in the county next door.
Wow.
So I can take advantage of some things.
Okay. So how you doing, Byron? Can you hear me, Andy?
Yeah, I can.
How about you, Sean?
Yeah, I hear you. We're getting a feedback loop.
Yep, we are. It's the gecko.
Hang on. Let me see if it's me. Hang on.
Google's great.
Okay. One second, guys. I'll be right with you.
Okay, does this sound better? Is that any better?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
Sound like you're on an AM radio or something. Does anyone have multiple windows open by chance of the Google Hangout?
It also could be if somebody has speakers and mic on.
Okay. Still having some audio difficulties. Can everyone mute your microphone? And let's see if we can narrow this down.
Can somebody mute mine? I'm on my tablet and I can't have the control.
Yeah, maybe that's what I can do. I guess I can do everyone. Okay. If you guys would just nod your head if you can hear me so I can see. Okay, perfect. All right. Problem is, when I mute somebody, I mute everybody. So one second, guys. Okay, Mike, can you come back in?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so you're good. Okay, let's go ahead. Sean, will you pop in, please?
Yep, I'm loud and clear.
All right. Lynn, let me go ahead and unmute you. Or you don't seem to be muted.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
she's muted.
Yeah, you are muted, Lynn. I can't unmute you. It looks like you've muted yourself because I have a mute button.
I'm unmuted.
Okay.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep. Loud
No
and
echo.
clear.
No echo.
Who was that was speaking just now?
That was me, loud and clear. Tillum had spoke earlier.
Okay, Kevin, can you come into the call?
No.
How about you, Jeff?
Sounds good.
Okay, Greg?
How about now?
I think we're sounding all right. Let's go ahead. Columbia, I don't know if you can unmute yourself or if you can speak. If so, please speak up.
She said in the chat she was having tech issues and only be on chat.
Perfect. I see that now. Thank you. Byron, you want to come in?
Keep your eye on the road, though. Keep your eye on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and then I just see AMS.
That's Tillin.
Okay, Tillin.
Am I pronouncing that right, Tillin? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Tom. Actually, Tom is good.
Tom?
Thomas?
Yes, Tom.
All right. Well, I need to correct that then.
Well, it sounds like we've got it corrected, so we'll just go ahead and proceed. Thank you guys for jumping in on the call and participating. Looks like things are off and running. And what we're going to discuss today is just a little bit more about breaking down these groups. And Mike and myself, we have actually taken the time to look over everyone's information, and we're really trying to match these groups up so that the skill set it complements one another, and it also is fair on both sides. So that we have people that have complementary skills on both sides. So, do you want to say anything about that, Mike, before we get into actually breaking down the group? And I'll just label this and throw your names out here and let you know what group you're going to be in.
Yeah, no, I just think that, first of all, for everybody that filled out that form, thank you for doing that. I know that was a kind of a personal thing to do, but there was a reason for it. Not only did we want to get to know you, but you know, at least the way I'm looking at this, and I know Andy's looking at it this way, we're going into business together. You know, we're creating something that's going to generate revenue, and you know, we all should have the attitude that we're bringing business partners into our lives, and you kind of want to know something about someone. So the first indication that we had of somebody not wanting to fill out that form, you know, it did not happen, but I assure you they would not be in this group, because you know, there's a lot of trust that's going on in here, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in our call. So you know, thank you for filling those out, and we appreciate it. And then likewise, you know, if you guys want to share that information, but we want to get to know each other very well. The problem is there's approximately 20 of us in this group, so we are going to split the groups up. Once you hear, you know, the layout of the groups, if you have issue with any of, you know, what we've done, you know, just ping Andy or I, and we'll fix it. But we have two groups, and you know, Andy, you want to go ahead and start off and talk about who's in which group in that?
Yeah.
All righty.
go ahead and start with the HVAC website. And we've put John, Jeff, Columbia, Greg, Lynn, Gary, and we decided it was Tom, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So that's going to be your HVAC group, unless we have some changes. But as of now, that looks like that's a pretty strong group. Again, we looked at the skill set of each one of you, and we think that those are going to be good, strong complements for the HVAC group. The plumbing group is going to be Andrea, Byron, Rebecca, Kevin, Sean, Catherine, Eric, and BJ.
Right, and adding on both of these groups, so you all know. Obviously, Andy is going to be working on both of these groups. I will be working on both of these groups. And news to me, and I'm really proud of this. I don't know if you saw this, Andy. Our infamous leader, Bill Walsh, is actually going to be in both of these groups, active in both of them, and not active as a spectator. He's going to be active as a participant, equal to what we're all doing. So I'm really excited about Bill taking an active role in this effort too. I think it's going to be a benefit to everybody here, including Bill. Obviously he's going to benefit from this too. So these are real powerful groups here. But let's talk a little bit about some house cleaning though. Setting up these groups. One of the things that we're going to do is, right now we've been communicating in this one mastermind group. What we're going to do to keep things on topic, because once we start doing the business of doing, I think it's going to be beneficial for each of us if we're focusing on what we're supposed to be focusing on. So a group of us will be in one mastermind Facebook page, and the other group will be in the other one. So what you're going to notice is I'm going to peel half of the people out of this group and put them into the other group, which has already existed. It's been there. I just didn't have anybody in it yet except for Andy, Bill, and I. So we're going to separate those two, so your communications will be all on the same topic line, and then we can get closer to each other in those groups. There'll be a better synergy with us all. One other thing, Andy, before I let go of this whole concept, and actually this was on our agenda, Andy, the second line item, and I just want to be very transparent and actually say this, just in case it wasn't obvious initially. This mastermind group is a group of people that are doing the business of marketing. This is not a training class. This is not a what else would you call it, Andy? It's this is not a spectator sport. This is a full contact immersion. We are all here to do a part in this group. However, what that part is going to be completely up to you. So, this is not a sit on the sidelines type of group. This is, you have to take an active role and participate in some way that benefits the group that you're in. Yeah. Can we just all agree that that's a fair, conclusion to come to?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, we all got to carry our own weight, and we're not dictating anything here. We're a group of equals, but because of that, we all have to, roll up our sleeves and do our own little part, whatever it is that we decide to do. So, reading the profiles, and we were able to determine at least what we had thought of, and we want to kind of talk about some roles and responsibilities and what people's strengths are. in both of the groups, and what we'd like you to do is kind of, if you can interject in this call, we'll go ahead, or at least Andy, I'll annotate it since I have the Word document open.
Yeah.
But let's go down the line and start actually with Jeff and Greg, and then work our way down on HVAC, and then do the same thing with Byron and Sean over on plumbing. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. Or do you want me to?
You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
Either one. I don't care.
You can.
Okay. Basically, what we've tried to do is we've really tried to, just based on the information that we were given, of course, you may have knowledge of certain things that we don't know about. So just, again, being transparent and communication, that's the key here. But really what we saw after looking at the two, or after looking at the two groups, we really tried to put somebody, one person in particular, that was strong in the SEO arena for websites. We want people that actually have some knowledge of traditional website SEO. And so I believe what we came up with in the HVAC group, and I'm not looking at that document currently. Hold on one second. Tell me who you saw on there for the SEO part, Mike.
Yeah, I'll grab it. I'm looking right at it. So,
yeah, right.
What we saw is strengths for HVAC, or at least in HVAC. Jeff, you appear to be, from what we were able to see, definitely very strong in that area. So we put that core capacity or competency by your name for the HVAC. Likewise, for closing business, and we use the word closer. Greg, we have you down as a closer. Now, I know as a fact John is a very good closer too, and John also has some very good skills. I know this. But not knowing specifically Tom, Gary, Lynn, Columbia, what your skill sets are, we have indicated that Jeff is strong in SEO, Greg is strong in closing. John, are you on this call? John's not on the call?
I don't think he is.
Okay, Columbia, can you put in the chat, and let's talk about competencies too before we even go down this list. I forgot this part. So the skills that we know we're immediately going to need for the website development and building out these authority sites are, we're going to need somebody with some strengths, and again, we're trying to do most things in-house so we don't have to outsource much. We're trying to keep all our profits and revenue in-house first, but then later on, that can change. But we need competency in graphics, writing content, Hispanic translations, taking English over to Spanish, WordPress coding, assuming that we're using a WordPress site. I'm just making that assumption. That would kind of be more up to the SEO leads in these groups. And then my favorite, sales. So those are the things that just the core high-level competencies that we know we're going to need. So going through these, Columbia, Lynn, Gary, and Tom, where do you guys see that your strengths are, just so we can kind of put this in our records here so we know how to move forward. Columbia, if you want to type in there, if you're online, or Tom, or Gary, or Lynn.
Well, I've got the time and I've got the resource. We can do, I don't mind spending money on getting Spanish translations.
Do you understand Spanish?
Not a word of it.
Not a word of it? Does anybody in this group understand Spanish? A little bit? I thought Gary. Gary, you in this call? Is Gary here? Gary's not here. I'm almost positive. I'm just going to write this down. Speaks Spanish. I think I think he does. I think Gary speaks Spanish. Just making a note. And I'm going to share this document with everyone too.
Yeah, Gary did say that.
He did, didn't he? Yeah. Lynn, are you able to text in? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. You're the author. You're the author one. Lynn, writing. Okay, good. Writing. We got Lynn is a writing expert. Columbia. A bit I can drift reading. Sorry, guys. I'm actually reading this chat here. Columbia. A bit I can get the drift reading, but not speak. Oh, okay. Here has a lot of Spanish. Okay. So Columbia, in the skills that we're needing, where do you see that you would want to help? And also something too we need, guys. And actually, this was Andy's idea, and it was a brilliant idea. Another skill we need is somebody to project manage this group. And I think that was the term that Andy actually used. Isn't it, Andy? Project manager?
Yeah, we really do need somebody who wants to step up and be an organizer. Of course, Mike and myself and Bill will be, a part of this as well. But, it's just good to have one person that's specific to one group that wants to kind of be, a leader, so to speak, and just make sure that everything is moving forward from a project management standpoint, and be able to communicate with each team member on a personal level too, where you can get together one-on-one and explain things. I think that would be extremely important. I do want to talk about the SEO as well. The SEO component is going to be extremely important, especially right from the beginning, because structure is going to be important here. And I think that each group can kind of come up with an idea as to where they want to go in terms of building the site, what platform you want to build the site on. I do suggest WordPress just because it is going to be easy for inputting data, that kind of thing. So, but in terms of actually structuring the website, it's going to be really important that every single person is on the same page. We don't want to go out here and use spammy backlinks or anything like that. With the number of resources that we have available, we can do this thing right. And so from an SEO perspective, it's going to be really important for that person who's kind of the lead over the SEO to make sure that everything is being structured correctly. And that means setting up categories, the silos on the site, that kind of thing. But I just wanted to throw that out there right from the beginning, and everybody's going to have an important role here. This is not going to move forward without the participation of every single person. And I know everyone, for the most part, this is a video SEO group, so I think all of us kind of fit under that category of having some knowledge with the video SEO, and there is going to be some usage for that. So I don't want to have you guys think that this is just all going to be website related. I think that we can definitely implement some video strategy into it as well and really make this thing flow. So
yes, absolutely. And branding, it's important that the brand and this is we're building an authority site. We're not this is going to become something fairly large. So we want to just make sure everyone's on the same page, and all input is welcome. So that was well put. So we're on this. Columbia has made some input. John. So John in this group is the only person we did not hear from. So we're going to need, just looking at this for this group, graphics. We're still needing anybody that wants to help with graphics and or coding, doing WordPress coding, and sales, because we don't want to lay everything on top of Greg. But Greg, I will definitely help you on sales.
Sorry, Mike. When you say coding, are you talking about like the CSS?
Yeah, just putting content, images, videos, putting the actual content we're putting on there.
I can handle that. I mean, I think it's pretty closely intertwined with the SEO portion of it. And
right, and it does. You know, I know, like with me, I love going in after all the crap is there. I just hate putting the crap there. You know. So, but, okay, so this is a good start for this group, and I'm going to share this with each of you. What I'd like you to do, if we can, is when you see your name and you see the skills set beside it, add to that list. Okay, so everyone within your group knows where your strength's going to be. So Byron, while you were driving very, very greatly in the road there, not getting hit, they put all the responsibility on you for bringing in the business.
that's right.
So that is you. I watched your video today. I really liked it. It's very clear where your skills are. You are the people person and the rainmaker. So you can take the lead on that, and you know, myself and others will probably be assisting you on bringing in sales. Okay, so that's the HVAC group. Okay, so there's 10 of us, 10 of us in that group, which for all of you that might have missed, Bill is also part of this group. I did not put any skills with Bill because we know that Bill is the ninja, and it really doesn't matter what his skills are. He's going to come in a clutch when we all need him. So Bill's in this group too, as Andy and I. Then we have the plumbing group. So in the plumbing group, Andrea's not here. She had something important to do today, but she is loaded with skills, so we'll let her determine where she wants to be as far as skills. As I mentioned, Byron is part of the plumbing group. He is what we're calling the closer. He is more focused on sales and bringing in new clients and assisting the others in this group of doing the same. Rebecca, you on this call? Anybody see Rebecca? Rebecca is also multi-talented. I did not pigeonhole her anywhere. Kevin, you're also in here. I did not pigeonhole you as well. You know, feel free to put in the chat some of the skill sets you would like to contribute. Oh, right there, project manager. Okay.
Okay.
Project manager.
Hey, real quick, I want to throw something in here because I'm getting notices that we have maxed this event out. I was not aware that you could only put 10 people on a call with the Hangout. Anybody?
You can only have 10 people in the participating. The rest is viewing only.
Gotcha. Where's that link? Where can I find that link? I guess down the bottom right. Okay, got it. Never mind. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so Kevin, and what you might want to do, Andy, too, is go to the Facebook page.
Yes.
I posted there if anybody wants to put any additional chats, and again, this will be resolved once we have our individual groups starting, you know, our next call. So, Sean.
Excuse me. Do you want me to jump off to let somebody else in?
Nope. You're good.
No. We want you to stay here because we got more important things still to go over. Sean, you are. We determined from your profile that you're the lead for SEO for the plumbing group. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with all the SEO and technical areas. I mean, you know, as I said in the profile, I used to be a network admin.
Right.
So.
Good. So again, these are just leads. Doesn't mean you can't get involved in other things you're passionate about. But we need a strong SEO person here. Catherine, also great skills. Catherine, she is not on this call, but also has some very great skills. We'll allow Catherine to determine hers, as well as Eric and DJ. Are you good with that? Yeah, I hear. Who's talking?
SEO and technical areas. I mean, you know, as I said in the profile.
Whoa, what was that? That was a delay, wasn't it?
That was a feedback loop.
Wow, it was, wasn't it? Okay, so what we have for the plumbing, obviously, we've identified Kevin as being a project manager of this group, Sean is doing the lead for SEO, and Byron being the rainmaker of this group. We need to fill up the rest of this group. This group is one person larger today than the HVAC group, but that's kind of where we have it. So, Andy, looking at the agenda, do you want to talk about the next steps on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay. Number three is where we're at now.
We're talking about basic keyword research, and this is where I think everybody can take a, just everybody can participate in this, and just going out and actually finding some good basic keywords to start with. And of course, we'll get into the next thing we're going to talk about is deciding on the cities. But just real quick, I just want to kind of throw this out here. It's going to be really important to really come up with a good list of some important keywords right from the start. So think about 20 keywords just to begin with. And if you could all compile your own lists and actually send them to us. You think that's the best way to go about it, Mike?
I think Mike had to grab a call.
Oh, he did. Gotcha. I see that now. So that's what we'll start with. If each person will actually message myself or message Mike, you can basically give us your own list of keywords, and we'll compile those and come up with a good starting place for the keyword research.
Okay.
Oh,
now you want to add to that, Mike?
No, and I apologize about that. Yes, and again, this is basic preliminary research. We just want to get started with building the site up, and primarily what was going on in my mind. And I'm not an SEO expert. I'm not going to claim. I just know how to get sites on page one, but I'm not an expert. We're going to have to set these sites with silo structures. So I'm thinking 20 keywords to start off with will allow both of our SEO leads to start with something, and that's all this is meant to be, is a beginning for the research. And that's kind of what my thought was about mentioning it, is this is a good place to start. Let's just do some basic research, get a list of 20 or 30 strong keywords that we can work with, and build our silo structure from there. And again, I think that both Sean and Jeff, you guys have these skills. Correct and modify my statement any way you need to. But the concept is, obviously we know the niche. Now we got to drill down into the niche. That should be one of the first things we do, in my opinion.
And before we go any further with that, we probably need to talk about our approach moving forward in terms of cities and things like that, because I think this is going to be extremely important from the just get-go. And my personal opinion, I have talked with several people about this, people that are in this kind of industry. Just to kind of let you know, my brother is a technical webmaster. He actually works with a group by Vanderbilt, and his recommendation for us was to start with one city and expand out from there, so that we actually pool our resources together and really grow this thing out, starting with one city, getting some traction, and then moving into some other cities that are strong, where the Latino factor would come into play. And if you guys want to talk a little bit about that and give your input on it, let's do it.
All right, I'll step up. From what I'm picturing from what you've discussed is a site at a national level, which then goes regional to state to cities. And then we'll basically put in the branches that fit for those areas and starting at the most densely populated Hispanic cities. Is that what you're picturing?
I think we're open-minded to how that structure is going to work. I do think that it's a good idea, in terms of, building these categories and building out, some real authority within Google to have a bunch of different cities in this website. Now, again, some of these things are going to be some of these cities are going to be a more natural fit for what we're doing in terms of the Spanish-speaking areas. So, again, I think that, my opinion would be that we actually go in, and guys, we can even branch this out from here. We could say each group could make its own decision on this. The structures can be completely different with the two different groups. I think there would probably need to be some, key elements that are the same, but one group may decide that they want to take a different approach on this, but just my 2 cents, I think it would be important to all kind of pitch in together and choose one big city and maybe even to kind of test the water, so to speak, see what we can do there, gain some traction, and then move into other cities. But of course, again, I want other people's input on this to see what you guys think.
Well, I think to start off with, it has to be focused. So you better pick a city to begin with. Pick a state with a high density of Hispanic people, and then pick a major city in that state, and worry about branching off after it gets some traction.
Yep, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
You pick California. You're going to start with Oakland, and then go from there.
Plus, it allows you to build a template how to proceed with the rest. That way you can modify and correct, and then modify and correct, and then take that template that is working, just multiply it through, and it'll make the progress and the evolution of the site go much quicker versus doing the shotgun approach, doing 20 locations at one time and modifying them all at the same time as we find out and perfect our system.
Yep.
Shotguns don't.
Correct. They don't work in this, yeah.
You get too confused, and
go ahead.
You get too bottled up in it, and it becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from. Is it's got to be specific, and then grow from there.
Yep. So let's break this down for the keyword research then, because that's going to be extremely important before we actually get into the keyword research. Maybe what we do is we move both of these groups into one city. We come up with a consensus, what the best area would be to start each of these groups, and move from there. Maybe, LA County, someplace like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but you guys might know better than me where geographically.
Well, you've got some tough choices there. I mean, you got California, yeah, you've got LA County, but then you've got Texas, and you got the whole damn state.
Yep.
So and you go into Arizona, and you've got the same issue. But yeah, you're not going to have the numbers in Arizona that you're going to have in either Texas or California.
And we have Byron. Byron is in Texas too, from what I recall seeing. So
yes, I'm here
Byron's in Texas, and he's the rainmaker. So I would leverage that, and then also John is in Florida.
Yeah, Miami is another strong Latino area, so we probably need to think about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's the right concept. It really doesn't matter where, but I like your idea.
One way to look at which cities to focus in on, look to see which major metropolitan areas have a Spanish television channel. Because they wouldn't have one there unless there was enough of a population to support it.
Yep. Are you talking about not cable TV, but just regular television?
Oh no, cable. There's regular television. Like Dallas has, I can't remember which station it's on, but it's a Spanish-speaking channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that way we know there's enough of a marketplace because there are already going to be advertisers spending money on TV ads there. So it makes the most sense to do it in those cities.
Yeah, I have a station within driving distance of me in Tampa.
Okay. So again, it may be a good thing just to maybe what we do is we decide on an area, and then each one of us can go in and dig deep and come up with some good keywords from there.
But I think the keywords really is not, for what we're going to do at the main set, I don't think that's going to be as important. Because we're looking for really root keywords at this point, you know what I'm saying?
So what are you thinking? Are you thinking each group kind of make a decision where they want to, start?
Yeah, because it really doesn't matter. It's going to be an authority site. We all got to start from somewhere. So where it's at, it really doesn't matter. I just think if I was speaking in my case personally, and I'm not speaking in my case, but it's the only way I could reference this. If we look at the two groups, we got the HVAC and we got plumbing, right? If we're building, let's look at plumbing just because Byron's on this call. Well, actually, Greg's on this call too. Craig and Byron, both of them. We're going to build a site, and then we have to get a model that is working to completion, meaning website built, pages built, SEO done, customer gathered, and customer satisfied, and testimonials and references given. All that has to happen successfully, in my opinion, before we move to the other ones, right? So a big part of this process, other than all the mechanical work that has to happen, is we need to close business. Now, some of us can close business anywhere in the United States, but there is nothing like somebody walking into someone's business and shaking their hand. We have Byron sitting in a Hispanic area, and Greg, I don't know how your area is where you are in Richmond area. Is that pretty Hispanic, Greg, in Richmond? Could you put that in chat or let us know? I know it is where I am. I'm north of Greg. It's a pretty healthy Spanish population. So either way,
I personally think that it will make it stronger, actually focusing in on one area, because this is going to be very category rich. I think that this is just my 2 cents. Again, we can all decide and make a decision. I'm cool with whatever, and I know what you're saying, Mike, that eventually it is going to get to that point where we want to go out and branch into our backyard and stuff like that. But I think right from the start, I think it would be a good thing to start with one area, and all of us just kind of build up that authority under that category, under that one city, and then expand out from there. I think that it may help us in terms of backlinking. It may help us in terms of just structure. I mean, I would like to get some other input on it. I don't want this just to be, Mike and me going back and forth on it, making a decision. Let's get some other comments on it, especially from some of you guys that have some SEO knowledge.
Well, like Kevin said in the chat, we could use this subdomains and stuff. So we do want to think about building out from the start. You do have to take the structure into effect, to be able to do that. So even if you're only starting in a state, like you would use a state, say, as a subdomain maybe, and then break down the cities under that, in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these are all good comments,
Yeah.
and conversations that need to happen. And it really is. It is not important. I would just say I think our first city or geographic area, we should just focus in that one particular area first. And I do agree. It makes it easier with everything we're doing, and then we can spread out, especially once the model is built and you know the successes and failures have been reached and went through. That's great. So in that sense, then, when we're in our groups, you know, starting you know in a few days, you know, just know that that's what we want to do, and then what we'll do too is we will share that with both groups. You know, we will share the conversation or the conclusion of the conversation of what is done and why that was decided. You know, once the guys like Jeff and Sean and others really put their input into this, and we'll go down that path. So you know, and again, this is not the Andy and Mike show.
Right.
You know, we definitely need your guys' input. Otherwise, we're all going to have our own interpretation of what's going to work. And
absolutely.
And, you know, I think they all will work to some sense, but you know.
And Kevin made a good point too. It may be a good thing to actually have both of these groups kind of start in different areas so that they can kind of learn from one another.
Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. Okay, decide which cities. Okay, yeah, we got that. So let's come up, and that's like an action item then, guys. PMs out there, the PMs. Let's make that a action item that we need to determine the cities, and that conversation in the group should be concluded fairly quickly. Need people. Yeah, we already talked about that. Just discuss within the group where your strengths are, where you feel you could provide the most value. We talked about that. The domains. So this conversation and the next conversation are kind of going to go in together a little bit here. So what we're building is an authority site, and Andy and I are going to secure 2 initial domains for this. For the authority site. Now, when I say that we're going to grab these authority domain sites, these domains, the next logical thing I think is going to happen in everyone's mind is, oh no, wait a minute, you guys have got the domain, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab 2 domains that are going to work perfectly in what we're trying to do. And we're not going to put them, we're going to be very careful how we do this, obviously, but this domain that we're getting for each of these groups is the property of this group. It is not the property of Andy, myself, or Bill. It is the property of the group. So the next conversation is, and this might be going through some of y'all's mind, because it did go through mine, and Andy and I briefly talked about it, but it's something that I want to bring to the table because I'm trying to be very transparent here with you guys, is the legality and the structure of this business, because again, I'm looking at it like a business. Now, I just have a little thing that I do, and I do a lot of crazy things all the time, and a lot of them, most of them, fail. So I want to put that on the table too. I'm working very hard to make sure this is not one of the failures. But I typically do things until I get traction, and then I make money. And once I'm starting to make money and I see that it's duplicatable, then I form a business around it. My recommendation and suggestion, and this is just my recommendation and suggestion, is we operate for a short period of time with a leap of faith. I mean, we're all professionals here. We all swim in the same pond and circles. I think if any of us did something unethical or something, the damage we could cause with our reputations is much greater than the benefit that we would get. So my recommendation would be, let's operate under the premise of faith initially, And once we get the ball running and we see that there truly is revenue coming into place, Andy has spoken to a friend of his, which is an attorney and in the legal profession, and we're going to form a legal identity for each group. And the people that are in these groups will be owners of that group. And that's where the money part and the security and the legality and everything is in the play. I'm just a big believer, you shouldn't put the buggy in front of the horse. I'm a believer. Let's make some cash first and agree that now's the time, and then go do that and spend a little cash to get that done. Does anybody have a problem with that? Because this is a pretty important subject, and it's important that we have it now, because once we start moving past this point, we don't want to get in a situation where, he said, she said, and then we got people mad at each other. So this is up for conversation. Anybody have a problem with what I just said?
No, I think that's the wisest way to go about it.
Agreed.
Yep, me too.
Agreed.
Definitely agree.
Although I want a bigger portion than Byron.
Okay, so that's our goal. So we're going to get these domains, and we're going to treat them like any other very protected SEO site that we're going to do. This is going to be a very protected thing that we're doing, and we're going to work strongly too with Jeff and Sean in this process as well. It's not, Andy and I are not just doing this on our own. We're going to be working with Jeff and Sean at the same. Thank you, Eric. At the same time. So with all that, that is really the crux of what we wanted to do. We wanted to start our groups. I mean, this has taken now 1 week, almost 1 week to the day, right, Andy? 1 week to the day.
Amazing.
And we've formulated a concept thanks to Lem and Bill. They got the ball rolling. The things that we can do is incredible. The more and more I sat through here, we can bring in online businesses, we can bring in CPA offers, we can bring in advertisers into this site. All this ways to generate revenue to make it a really strong asset for us as a group to decide what we want to do with this. But more importantly is because we're being so transparent and making all this visible to everyone and letting everyone participate at their own will. The goal was, when I heard this, and when Andy, actually this was Andy's idea originally, is that each of us then, once we've done this successfully, can go out and do your own thing with your own team, with your own outsourcers, with however you want to do it. You will already have a proven blueprint of how to do this. And to me, that is the real value that we have here. And it's pure Lemon Bill style. I mean, it's something in here that it says testaments for Lemon Bill, what they built, that a group of people could come together, have this kind of conversation where no one bought a WSO, no one did a OTO, no one did a security deposit here. These are just people that want to do something pretty cool together, that feel that they can possibly work together. I think it's magical. I truly do, and hopefully you guys won't get tired of me and kick me out of the group.
Well, we could be trendsetters, what we're doing right now. I mean, you just don't see this kind of thing go on a lot of times. And
right.
So it is some new territory, some new water, but I think it can be really powerful. So let's make it happen. Let's get it done. And let's just show other people how we came together and just made a very powerful asset together.
That's right. Anybody want to share something before we wrap this call up?
Let's go make some money.
Do it.
That's it. That's it. Okay, we're going to record this, right? This is recorded, Andy?
It is.
Okay, let's do, and guys, too, if you notice the last call we did, we only kept it up for 48 hours. One of the things we're trying to do is protect what we're doing. That's the reason we're deleting these recordings. We don't want this really getting out from this group, from the group of people that are involved in this. That is why we're deleting these. We you know, if you participate during the live call, that's great, but it's not necessary. We will always leave them up for a short period of time. And if you know that you're not going to be around for a longer period of time, just let Andy or myself know, and we'll make arrangements to make sure you get the information. But from this point forward, it really doesn't matter anymore, because you have your trust teams that you're working with, right? There's a handful of people. I would fully expect that each of these groups are going to communicate on a regular basis, and it does not have to be something that was led by Mike Howard or Andy. This is something the groups, we're going to have our own leadership forming in these groups. It's a natural thing to happen, and by no means, I don't want anyone in either one of these groups to think that this is something about Andy or Mike having to lead this group. It isn't. We are all equals. We're just the ones that have started pushing the ball. My goal is not to push the ball the whole time. My goal is to get in here and start doing some of this stuff and having fun with it, and hopefully being able to reap the reward. So with that, that's all I have to say. Andy, you want to close it out?
Yeah, just thank you guys for coming and being a part of things, and we'll be in touch after the weekend to organize some of these calls for next week. I guess probably the next call that you'll be on will be in your individual groups, and of course Mike will take control of actually moving groups around and making sure that everybody's in the right place. And Mike, I don't know if you want to keep the one mastermind with everybody in it and then break out 2 individual groups. I don't know if there's need for that, but I'll let you make that call. But just know there's going to be some moving around here within the next few days to get you guys situated. So if there are no more questions or comments, then we'll go ahead and end the call. Again, thank you guys for coming today, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Yep, you too.
Guys.
Have a great weekend.
All right, take care.
Happy landscaping there.
Yeah. You'll probably see the pictures.
All right, guys. Be good.
See ya.